Hi there. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on your time zone. Welcome to Raising an Independent Child, Part 2. In our last video, we established the fact that children that are raised to be over dependent grow up to face difficulties later in life. Unfortunately, a lot of them end up being depressed, being anxious, and then some of them even go to the extent of unaliving themselves. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the three universal human needs and how independence can foster those human needs. First of all, we'll talk about the fact that independence builds self esteem. Self esteem is a state of feeling valued and respected by yourself and others. Secondly, we'll talk about self actualization. Independence builds self actualization, and self actualization is the ability to realize personal potentials or personal goals. Thirdly, we'll talk about love and belonging. This is a state of feeling connected and supported by people around or the community. Now, a child that is well raised to be independent will meet these needs, these human needs, or the child that is raised to be dependent on people, on the parents, on everything he sees, may not actualize these dreams or these needs, may not be able to meet these needs in life because he was not raised that way. He doesn't know how to face difficulties. And that is the reason why a lot of them become anxious. Anxiety sets in, depression sets in, and all that. So I'm going to talk about how to build an independent child using the art of natural consequences. There are three basic tips I'm going to give in this video. First of all, protect from harm, not discomfort. Because discomfort is the place where learning lives. A child that is always shielded from bonds would lose the ability to be resilient. Tip two, the forgetful child paradox. A child is only forgetful if the parent keeps remembering things for that child. At this point, I'll pause to tell you a very short story. My 5-year-old had a fracture recently, and on one of her hands, her right hand actually. So because of that, I had to follow her to the toilet to use the toilet and then wash her up and dress her up afterwards. The first day we went, she after everything, she decided to start going out of the toilet. And I stopped her. I was like, where are you going? What are you supposed to do after using the toilet? And she started guessing a lot of things. And I said, wait, you first of all flush, you wash your hand with soap and water before leaving. She said, oh, mommy, okay. She did it. The next day, I followed her again. And when she was done, she was about leaving. I intentionally watched her and I blocked the way. I intentionally watched her. And she was in her mind, she was like, what? And then she looked at my eyes and then she just suddenly remembered, she went and did it. The third day, she didn't need any form of eye contact. As soon as she finished, she went, she flushed the toilet and washed her hands and she got up. At this point, I've taught her how to carry out these tasks by herself. And what this does is that it will build her independence, their ability to be independent. So most times when we remind children of instructions we have given them once, they keep waiting for us to remember for them. They keep waiting. It's just like saying, asking a child to memorize maybe a verse of the scripture. And then when you are asking that child to say after you, he keeps saying, when you say, okay, say it by yourself, the child will get stuck at some point and keep looking at you. If you tell that child anything at that point, that child will say the same thing you said, whether it's wrong or right. But if you leave that child, they will crack their brain and then they will remember. So you as a parent, stop reminding your child every time about instructions you have given initially. Allow them to remember. Allow them to remind themselves, because the memory muscles actually diminishes every time you remind a child to do something because it's not in use. Now, the tip 3 is the golden rule. Remind once, then step back. Trust the consequences to do the teaching. Sometimes, if consequences are not harmful, if they will only cause some discomfort, allow the child, allow them to go through that discomfort. It will teach them a lot. It will be a point of remembrance because they won't want to go through it again. In our next video, by the grace of God, I'm going to be telling us different strategies to use in teaching our children independence. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to our page, follow us on Facebook and Instagram, share this video. Please make comments. You can also share your experiences in raising an independent child.